Hi, welcome to this free and open source project presentation called Virtual Machines for PHP and MySQL projects. I have prepared three virtual machines with PHP versions of 5.5, 7.0 and 8.2 and later on future versions as well. I will give the download links to them in the YouTube description box below so that you can download, install them and benefit out of it. As you know, virtual machines are a very powerful concept, allowing you to run multiple virtual machines on the same physical machine. So you get maximum advantage of a single machine by using a virtual machine. And virtual machine also has advantage that everything is set up for you and ready to use. So this is the greatest advantage of virtual machines. So we will see all that now. It is very easy to install and get them operated. So now let us see some requirements for these virtual machines. One, you need a physical router, actually with the DHCP server enabled in it. You can use your existing internet router in your office or work area, or even buy a cheap new router with LAN ports. At least 4 LAN local area network ports should be there. With Google search you can easily buy that. It will cost about 800 INR or some less than, very less only, very cheap it will be. So you can do that. You can buy it in case if you don't have already a router with Ethernet ports. So now connect your PC with a LAN cable to your router. Do not use Wi-Fi to connect it, as your router will supply an IP address to these virtual machines. It need to be connected through a LAN cable. It cannot use Wi-Fi authentication at present. So this is one requirement. Then if your system BIOS, this is the second point. If your system BIOS has any virtualization technology support setting in it, then please enable it. Ask your IT support person to have a look at your system's BIOS setting. Don't worry if I'm going through too fast. I will add all this to the description box below so that you can later on check it as well. Then 3. We will see the softwares that are required for running these virtual machines now, and also take a sample school management PHP MySQL setup. I am using an example of this CodeCamp's free school management system, which I have already downloaded in this machine. I will set it up right in front of you so you know how to set up a PHP project, PHP MySQL project. For any type of project you can use these setups as a general note. I will also add a note to this as well below for all operating systems. All operating systems, how to set up these softwares that are required for running virtual machines. I will add a note. Okay. Now let me go through the downloads folder. My downloads folder already has a folder called VirtualBox softwares. So there are at least 5 softwares which you must be aware to run a virtual machine successfully. And after that I will give you the download links to 3 of these virtual machines which I have already created, which you can double click and install it. That's it. So easy. So now let's go through one by one what are all the softwares from a Windows perspective. There are quite a few softwares for virtual machines to be set up. So let's go to the first software. This is called Microsoft Visual C++ Redistributable. You can of course Google search for all these softwares and get it freely. There's no charge for any of this. So you can easily download it through Google search. So first download Microsoft Visual C++ Redistributable. Download it. Then actually if I have to have a quick note, the process of installing all these softwares are very simple. You just need to double click them and accept any license agreement if it shows. Then click next and finish. That's all. So easy to install a software. So Microsoft VC++ Redistributable. Then comes VirtualBox. Again Google search for it. And from the VirtualBox site you will also get a Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. So this also you download from the same VirtualBox site and install it as well. Then there are two other softwares which are very helpful. Go for FileZilla FTP client. Go for Google search for FileZilla FTP client and install it as well. Of course, be careful if it has a sponsored option. That means it will try to it will ask you whether you want to install an add-on to your internet browser. Just you can answer no or yes to it accordingly. Then install the PuTTY terminal emulator software. PuTTY terminal emulator software. This is a very useful software. This is just like your command prompt on Windows, but for Linux servers you can use Linux commands to work on it. So this is the PuTTY terminal emulator software. So once you install all these 5 softwares, now you are ready to double click the servers with PHP versions that I have created. First is that this Ubuntu server version with PHP 5.5 and MySQL 5.5. Just double click it one by one. Once you double click it, it will launch VirtualBox because you already installed VirtualBox. It will launch it and it will give you various settings here. You can read it. You can, even if you want, you can change it. If you really want to, you can change it. But other than that, there is nothing else to do here. Just click finish and it should get imported. So once it gets imported, it will get highlighted automatically. Now the first thing you have to do is a little configuration is required. Go into its setting, the highlighted entry, go into click on settings and go to network option and ensure that this will always be ticked anyway. Enable network adapter will always be ticked. If otherwise, you tick it and then attach it to a bridged adapter. There are choices here, but you should attach it to a bridged adapter, which means that this machine will be available to your entire local area network, whereby multiple people can work parallelly on it. This is the greatest advantage. It's like a really physical machine, a server machine attached to your entire network if you make it as a bridged adapter. This is the advantage of it. And then card. This is the most important thing. You have to choose your local area network card or Ethernet card, not Wi-Fi card. Do not choose Wi-Fi card here. Choose the Ethernet card. For example, in my machine, this is called Realtek PCI GBE family controller. This is my Ethernet card. But of course, in your machine, it will vary definitely. So VirtualBox will never allow you to start the machine unless you actually set the correct Ethernet card here. So once you set it, click OK. It will get changed and the setting is ready. Now you start the machine. So let's start it. Click start button. The machine is starting now. I'm sorry, it's already starting here. It's starting now. Yes, that's it. In just a few seconds, the entire server gets started and it says you can now access this website application nets at http server.local/application name app name or https server.local/app name. I will recommend go for https connectivity. It is secure, so we should go for it. But unfortunately, https here will only use a locally self-signed certificate and not a paid certificate. So that means browsers will complain. Just go to the advanced option and say enable proceed to this website. So don't worry about it, just accept the warning, proceed to it. So it will open the website automatically. This you have to do only first time in any internet browser that you are using. Then it also gives you some additional things, like for example, this is the console of the server. So if you want to log in here, you can use username user and the password as change_this. So I should say that the system account username is user and password is change_this. Likewise, MySQL has a username called root and its password is also change_this. I would say recommend that change this immediately to secure it. And remember what you have changed in somewhere you note it down so that you remember it. Let me show you from the console perspective how to change it. So just click on it. Of course, it did not show me any pop-up window. When you click on it the first time, it will always show you a pop-up saying that this virtual machine will take control of your keyboard and mouse. It will get locked or something like that. So if you want to release it, do press the right control key on your keyboard. Once you press the right control key, the mouse will get released. The keyboard, you can move the mouse. But till you don't press the right control key, it will get locked inside the virtual machine. So don't panic, just you remember the right control key. You can even map it to another key if you want, but that is up to you. So now I will use the username as user and password as change underscore this. And if you want to set the new password, type PASSWD and press enter. So it will ask you for the current password and it will ask you to change it. I'm not changing it for the demo. So just remember this command called password. Then you can log out, or LOLGUT. Or you can shut down as well. When you want to shut down the machine, of course, release the control key and then machine menu, ACPA shutdown. If you do, it will shut it down cleanly. So at the end of the day, you should always do machine ACPA shutdown carefully, and then go right click this entry here and choose show in Explorer and go one level up and back up that entire folder. Go one level up and back up the entire folder to an external hard drive. This is important because if you are punching in a lot of data, you are supposed to safeguard your data by backing up every day. So back up that entire virtual machine folder every day. Okay, so now let's go through the other aspects of it. Now we will start setting up our application and access it through an internet browser. Let's do both. First, for setting up, I already told you, you need FileZilla software for setting it up. Of course, for setting it up, we have a few more works. Let's go through my download areas now. I click on my download folder. I'm sorry, I have already set up this SMS. I have got this sms.zip from Camcodes, which is a YouTube channel which offers free source codes for many PHP projects. So I'm using this sms.zip as an example. I extracted it to the SMS folder. So SMS stands for School Management System. So now I'm going to, in real time, I'm going to set up this School Management System. And before setting up, I will give links, download links to this findfiles.bat and findstring.bat. These two batch files are very important to locate information within the this SMS folder. I'm going to locate some information first straight away. So I'm going to Control C that, copy that and paste it inside the SMS folder. I'll paste it. So let me tell you why I need two batch files, two commands, command prompt commands. Why I need two command prompt commands. So first is I will try to locate something I need to do. See, this application is written by somebody else, and they would have coded some application level password, some database level commands they would have given. So all these we have to set now. So what I will do is, first is I will find string, I will open it. I would suggest install Sublime Text, a very beautiful text editor or code editor called Sublime Text. Once you install it, that is also available on Google search almost freely. You can download it and install it. So open it with Sublime Text. So I'm opening it, and then here is a command I'm going to do. Find string /s/i localhost star.php. So search in all PHP files, search for a string called localhost and tell me which file contains that. So this is the aim of this findstring.bat. So let's run it. So immediately it says to me, the first hit is the top hit, is an important hit because it says application. In your application folder, config folder, there is a file called database.php which contains the setting $db default host name equal to localhost. So this is the setting which we want. Of course, you can ignore the other ones, but I'm interested in $db default hostname equal to localhost. This file I'm going to touch now. Application config database.php. This file I'm going to touch now. So I go to application folder, then config, then database.php, right click it and open it with Sublime Text and go to the end of it. Just quickly go to the end of it. where it says host name is localhost, username is localhost, username is root, and password. Many people leave this as blank, but in my system I have kept. I'm sorry, I have already edited it. I should have removed it. But anyway, so many people would have not given this password at all, saying that you have to set for your own environment. So in my environment, it is change underscore this. So first set the root password as change underscore this, and the db name is okay. Whatever db name they have kept it, we will create the db now, and then mysql driver is okay. So the application password is the main thing we have set here, and the db we have to create now. So that's it. So now, so application level we have set the database password now. Then I go to sms folder, the same folder. Now the next is find files.bat. What is this? Let's see that. So it will say all subdirectories. You search for something called sql. sql is the database setup instructions which we have to execute. We have to create the database, and well as the create the application inside the virtual machine. That's what we are trying to do. So let me find the files which says sql. So one is there is something called in database folder sms, in sms folder, database folder smsdb.sql, and in uploads folder install.sql. I think this is a dummy one, sms uploads. First, database is the thing which is important. So let me go through the some in sms folder. I'm going through something called database, and I've got smsdb.sql. So I'll have a quick look around what is inside it. Open it with Sublime Text, and here it says this is a dump, and which says database name is smsdb. I will copy this database name. I'm going to set it up now, and then there are a lot of tables that are getting created. If there is a database create command, then you don't need to create your database. You just have to run this entire SQL. But here we have to do two steps. First is create the database, and then run this create table SQL. So let's do both. So what we are going to do is now, yes, now we have already set up the application. As you know, we can transfer the application and then transfer the database as well. Let's do both. First, go to the FileZilla. Open FileZilla now. FileZilla is a FTP client which you can copy our entire folder, entire SMS application into the virtual machine server. So let me go through FileZilla. I can type FileZilla or I can click it. So once I go through FileZilla, I don't need to install. I'll say the host name as server.local, and username is user, as you saw in that console. Username is user, and password is change underscore this, which is the default one. I say quick connect. I'm sorry, something wrong. I think I made a mess up. So let me do it again. The FileZilla has some problems connecting it. Let's see what's wrong with this. It's server.local is the local name for it. So server.local, and you can even use IP address 211.192.168.1.211. We can use the IP address also to connect to it. So let's do either one of them. So first is FileZilla. I do it again. Then again type server.local. Username is user. Password is change underscore this. So something is wrong with it. It is not connecting it. Let's see what's went wrong. So now again I try that. One 192.168.1.211 and user. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not put the port number here. I'm sorry, really. I should have put the port number correctly. So server.local is the, I don't need IP address. I'll put server.local as the host name. Username is user, password is change underscore this, and port I skipped it, 22. 22 is the port number. I quickly connect to it. So it should connect now. It says this host key is unknown. Do you want to add it? Okay, I say okay. It immediately adds it nicely. So don't miss the port number when you're doing connection. Port number is 22. Now I double click the HTML folder link here. So I double click it. There's nothing here, almost empty here. So I go to I set my downloads folder here, and in that I've got the SMS folder ready with my application password set, as you saw just now. I touched the database.php and set the password there inside it as change underscore this. So now I can upload my DB now, upload the entire SMS folder now. It is uploading the entire thing now. Meanwhile, I'll also tell you that for creating a database, you need something called either a PHP myadmin or something called an add miner. Add miner is the easiest one I would recommend because it's just a single file. Instead of a lot of files, you just need an add miner.php, add miner -4. This is also available on Google search. Just search for ADMINER, add miner, and you should be able to locate the download and download this PHP file. So once you this SMS, yes, this is going on now. Now I will upload the add miner as well. Later on, you remove the add miner. I would suggest if you are using it like a production environment, do not keep the add miner and stuff inside it. And also clean any unnecessary files if you don't want. So we will do it little later. I will clean up the add miner. Once this video demo is over, I'll clean it up. Now I got my SMS folder ready and I've got my add miner also ready. I can copy the name. I can click once more on it and Control C that. And now I can connect through my browser. In my browser, there are a few things I will tell you. One is I was telling you about a cheap router with DHCP server. If you don't have a router, you can search on Google for it. And there should be options like D-Link, D-Link, space DIR615 router. This is a very good router as well, which is coming around INR 800 rupees, Indian rupees at 800. So that much only it will cost you. And it will have a 4-port Ethernet. Just look for 4-port Ethernet in its diagram. At least 4 PCs you should be able to connect and work on it parallelly. So if you do not have an internet router already, then you should do it. Otherwise, it's okay. You can buy it. So this is the cheap router. And then this is how the router looks like. See, as you see, there are 4 LAN ports there and 1 WAN port is there. So this is the router diagram of that. Okay, and secondly, how do you change the MySQL root user password? I have kept simply as change underscore this, but you should tighten it up. So Google search for MySQL change root user password, and there should be a Stack Overflow article, not the first one, but I will take the second one, which says MySQL root password change. They will give you a lot of clues, and in that alter user root at a localhost identified by new pass. So copy this SQL and execute it. Once you log in into the add miner, you can change this as well. But if you change it here, you are supposed to change it in your config, that application config folder database.php. You have to change there also. Because you set the new password, you have to set there also. Or you vice versa, you do it. First go upload your add miner inside it, change the password, and then change the application password, and then only upload the SMS folder. You can do it either way. Okay. Anyway, now this is the root password. So this is one thing I told you. Anyway, I will reopen that closed tab just as a reference. Okay, now let's connect to the application or add miner. Sorry, database is not set up yet. Only we have set up the application password, that we have set it up to connect to MySQL, but we have not set up the database yet. So we have to use the adminer. So I will paste the adminer -4.811.php. I will I'm sorry, I did not put the server name itself. So let me do it again. https://server.local. This will be in the third couple of Ubuntu machines, that 5.6 and 7.0 PHP versions. I've kept the name of the server as server.local, and the 8.2 I kept lamp.local, lamp.local. So you have to read the instructions when the machine starts up and follow it accordingly. But otherwise the steps remain the same mostly. Just look for username, password if there is any change. If there is a change in the server name, look for it and do it accordingly. So now http server.local/ I'm going to put adminer there, adminer 4.81.php. Yes, adminer is such a simple, beautiful tool to work with databases, setting up databases. You can do it. Now I will put the username, it's as root, and password as change_this, and click login. Immediately it logs in. So now you see 3 databases, and we are about to create a 4th new one. Let's create a new database now. A SQL command, I click on SQL command and say create database SMSDB. This is how the author has done that. We want the same name here. You could of course copy it from that database.php as well, the database name. Create database sms.db, execute it. So it says immediately query executed. Okay, 1 row affected. Now I open my DB list box here and see SMSDB is there, and it says no tables are found. I need to create all my tables. So I click the import command and then browse the SQL file. I will go into the SMS folder. We saw in the database folder there is something called smsdb.sql. I double click it and execute it. That's it. So easy. It will take some time to create all the tables. Now look at it, 222 queries executed. Okay, and all the tables have been created. That's it. Now our database is ready. If you want, of course I told you about root password setup. You can always execute the alter user SQL command and change it, but I will not change it for this demo. If you change it here, the root password, like how the Stack Overflow article said, if you change the root password here using the SQL command, you are supposed to change it in the my application, in your application as well, that database.php as well, you have to change it. Okay, now I log out of the application. Our database is set up, our application is set up. Now I can log in into the application, https://server.local or even lamp.local in another virtual machine, server.local/sms, and press enter key. Immediately says advanced school management system. The application is accessible now. Of course you can also set the new admin password inside the application, but that is outside this demo. So now I click login now. See, so nicely it has set up our application. Our application is set up, our database is set up, our application is set up. You can access it. You can use on everyday basis. You can ask all your people on your local area network to work on it parallelly as well. You can appoint multiple people. You can pay them salaries and appoint them, and ask your database to be maintained regularly. And at the end of the day, shut down the machine, take the backup, and that's it. So easy. Take a backup every day. Keep it labeled correctly. As of this date, you have taken this backup. So in any case, in any issues, you can quickly restore the backup and get it working. So you don't lose any of your data. So this is important. So this is how you will set up your application and your database in a virtual machine like the ones I am providing you. Look for the download links below and download it and set it up. So in case if I miss out any instruction, I will add it both to the YouTube description below and also in the project website. I will add some description. That's it. Now I will quickly show you how to I have set up the application. You can shut down the machine now. Machine ACPI shutdown. I shut it down. So immediately system is shutting down quickly. Then I close this Explorer. Then I right click the machine after it shut down. Right click the machine and click show in Explorer. Once you do this, this is the directory and this is the important database. This entire server machine file is here, about 1.65 GB it shows. Of course it is not without any data, it's almost empty without data, but then you need to back it up every day. So let's go one level up and back up this entire folder that you're seeing here. It is highlighting the folder. Copy it and paste it to an external USB hard drive and safeguard it every day. Label it with every day's date and keep it safe. That's it. So this is where you're seeing admin, VirtualBox, VMs. This is where I'm having my virtual VMs. As you can see, I am a very prolific user of a lot of virtual machines I use on a day-to-day basis, both for development, testing, and even for production usage. So it's a very good concept. We are of course very glad to see contributions like this from VirtualBox website. They give you this software free, and in VMware website you also get ESXi server, ESXi servers. If you Google for it, you can get a server itself which can run multiple virtual machines separately on a standalone basis. It requires more knowledge than this one, which is very easy and graphical. This VirtualBox concept is for desktops, while for servers you use ESXi. That's it. So easy. I think I covered it all. In case if you want to, we can see this putty also. Of course I have shut down the machine, but generally there is in putty. If you open the putty app, this is like a console, but it's called terminal, and it gives you nice, easy and copy and paste facilities for Linux commands. This is very easy to work with it, whereas in console you can't do copy and paste much unless you configure it with some more extra options. So in putty you can use the same concept, server.local, and port number is 22, and then once you open it you can use the username and password, which I kept as user and change underscore this. You can do that, and for one virtual machine I kept bitnami and change underscore this. So those are the different settings you have to study and use it. So this is how you will do it. I think I covered it all. If in case I miss out any points, I'll update the description box below. So thank you, have a nice day, and keep sharing this with your friends and colleagues so that they also learn about these concepts. And also, if you like my presentation, do press the like button, and also comment, share and subscribe on my channel. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.